Hello everybody, this is going to be a walkthrough for entering the NADAC Championships and how the page works. First thing you're going to want to do is enter a dog's registration number that is attached to your file. If you notice the email is not your correct email, let us know so we can update that. And if you're not getting a code to your phone, also let us know so that we can look into that issue. There are a couple things that could be happening in the background, but choose one of these options, either the email or phone, and then you'll get a code. Mine is 117780. This is going to update each time that you come back to this page, so that will change. Then you're going to hit verify code and log in. Once you're here, this drop-down is going to be every dog that you have registered that is attached to that account. As you can tell, I have a lot of fake ones because we do a lot of testing on the database and I need lots of dogs to play around with. So we're going to go ahead and enter Spree here. So we're going to enter the main event. Most of this info will autofill, but if you notice that anything is incorrect, please update it now. So your wither height, breed, birthday, etc. You're going to select your main event division. Those are all of your options. So let's just go ahead and do elite double digit. You do want to make a selection on the category, even though you've kind of done it here. We like to be a little bit redundant, just so that we are 100% sure. Enter skilled or proficient. I'm actually going to leave this blank so I can give you guys an example later of what happens if you don't fill it out completely. And I'm just going to upload whatever I happen to have in my downloads, which is something I was working on a little while ago. This will just give you a preview of the photo that you uploaded. I am going to get this updated to where it moves over here and is back to being a square, since that is kind of cuts off the top and cuts off the bottom. So that'll be fixed by the time that you guys get to it. Now, for this info right here, please make sure this is the person running the dog. So this is the name that's going to show up on the run orders. It's also going to be the name that's going to be on any personalized items. So with this, it's going to say Chris and Spree. So exactly as the call name is written and exactly as the first name is written. So make sure that those aren't weird. Please don't make them excessively long if you can, because then any of the personalized items start to not look as great. When you have, these big, huge 40 character long things that we have to engrave on different items. But that is your call. Make sure your email is correct. If you logged in via email, then it should be. Be sure and select a shirt size, and as well as if you're volunteering. There's some info right here. Volunteers basically receive everything that we have in regards to exhibitor bags. And if you don't volunteer, then you will still receive a t-shirt and your personalized items, but not the other items. So we are going to volunteer because we like to make the event run smoothly. And then once it looks like everything is how you want it, you'll hit complete entry. And now you see this is going to pop up because it's upset that I do not have the skilled or proficient marked. We're going to go ahead and mark that we are skilled. We're going to update our entry. And then you can see our entry up here. Now, it does keep all of your info pulled up on this page so that if you want to update anything, you can. Now, the only thing to remember is just that after you update anything on this page, be sure and hit this update entry. So if we decide that we don't want to be double digits and we would actually prefer to go into starter stakes and we're no longer a veteran dog and we're a standard dog now, we would make those changes and then we'd come down here and hit update entry. And that'll make sure that all those changes you just did are actually applied. Now let's go ahead and say that we want to add another dog. So let's say we're going to run Annie as well. But Annie, we don't want to enter in the main event. We just want to do the pre-trial. So same thing, we're going to make sure all of our info is correct. We're going to see Annie doesn't have a birthday. So we're going to go ahead and give her a birthday. We'll just say she was born on May 6th. She wasn't, but we'll say that. And let's say that we're a junior handler at the time. Why not? And then we're going to come down here and select all of the runs that we want to enter. I'm going to do a chances, a touch and go, and a regular. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to do everything. Make sure and adjust your levels for wherever it is that you want to enter. And then same thing, hit complete entry. That's going to add everything. And there you go. Now, let's say you have done this and now you've decided that you also want to add some pre-trial runs for Spree. So you can come back up to this top line up here and hit the edit button. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull up all of Spree's information again. And now we're back to where we can update Spree. So let's say Spree also wants to enter the pre-trial. Now we're going to come down and she's going to do everything on Tuesday, but we're only going to do regular. And we'll go to elite for everything. And then we will update again. And that's going to update the cost of entry for that dog. And then we still have this one as well. And now we're good. Now up here is kind of all the dogs that you currently have entered, their registration number, and what the cost of entry is for that dog. If you are returning to this page after you've already either entered one dog and maybe another dog qualified or whatever the case may be, but you've already paid for one, then this little box right here where it says amount paid would have a value in it for whatever you've paid. And then that amount will be subtracted from the amount due. And the amount due is what you still owe to NADAC for your entry. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And we'll just give one more example. Let's say we're currently on Spree and now we want to go back and edit Annie again. You can do it from the drop down, but I would suggest hitting the edit button because that's kind of how everything was built. And it looks like we have one thing that I'm going to fix, and that's that our birth date is not repopulating correctly, so I will fix that. But as you see, when I go back to Annie, it's going to show all of those pre-trial runs that we entered. And if I were to switch back to Spree at this point, it's going to update to the pre-trial runs for Spree. So just make sure that you have the dogs selected that you want to be editing. So we'll go back to Annie now. And let's say we changed our mind and we want to enter her in the main event. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to hit edit entry and it's going to tell us, hey, you're missing a few things. You need to tell us your shirt size. You need to tell us whether you're volunteering. And we also need to know what event you're going to be in. And then we're going to update that again. And let's go ahead and give Annie a photo. That way she has something nice as well. And then we'll update one last time. And that'll make sure that everything is exactly how you want it. Now, once you have all of your entries the way that you would like them to look, you can hit checkout. That will redirect you to a Stripe page where you can pay for your entire entry all at once. And I'm obviously not going to do that at this time because I do not want to have a test of $904 on my card for no reason. And also, if you change your mind and decide, I don't want to run Annie in the event, you can delete from cart. It's going to ask if you're sure. And that will remove that dog from your list. I do need to, I realize now, also update that so that it reloads this little list up here. That way you don't have to look at them after you've hit delete. And I will also have it where it reruns some of the price totals, because I just noticed that that did not update. But we will get that all fixed up for you guys. And that is pretty much it. We look forward to seeing you guys at the event. Take care.